Today I received a request from a client who needs all parts that exist in the two sites, 12WB and 19ASD, with quantity bearing set to true, and class ID 2050 to be updated through a DMT in order to change the class from 2050 to 1254. The first step whenever I receive a request like this is to determine how many parts meet this configuration and exactly which parts they are, so the update can be executed correctly. To accomplish this, I will create a BAQ. Today, I'll walk you through how to build it. For this process, I need to reference the part table as well as the part plant table, since we need to filter by plant. I'll begin by navigating to the part table. The primary field I need to filter is quantity bearing, since the client is specifically requesting parts where quantity bearing is set to true. I assign the value true. I also filter by class ID 2050. So now the filters include quantity bearing set to true and class ID 2050. Next, I move to display fields within the part table. I bring in the company field because whenever you create a DMT for parts, the company value is mandatory. It's best to include it from the beginning. I also bring in part number and class ID for verification purposes. I search for and include quantity bearing as well. Another key field required is plant, so I include that too. You'll notice that I have disabled the automatic filter limit. By default, the BAQ returns approximately 1,000 rows. Since this company has around 75,000 part records, I increased the maximum return value to 500,000 to ensure that all relevant records are retrieved. As shown, the BAQ returns all parts that meet the criteria. Class ID 2050, quantity bearing set to true, along with the sites where those parts exist. There are no results for 19ASD. There are results for 12WB, and some parts also exist in main. However, the client only wants to update the parts that exist in plant 12. To proceed, I export the results to Excel. I select all, set the format to text, copy everything including labels, and paste it into Excel. At this point, I have the data required for the update. I remove any unnecessary rows, clear filters as needed, and verify that only the correct records remain. WB, quantity bearing set to true, and class ID 2050. Now I create a new column labeled New Class ID, since the requested update is to change the value to 1254. I enter 1254 and drag the value down to apply it to all relevant rows. With this information properly structured, I can now generate the template needed to execute the DMT. That would be all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.